About 3 years ago, I was going for my annual physical and I had to get a blood test beforehand. And when I walked in real early in the morning, the lady who was drawing my blood was very happy and chipper. And she says to me, "Today is my birthday." And I wished her happy birthday. And she says, "I'm going to be 65 today." And I wished her happy Medicare age. And we had a little laugh about that. And as we're making small talk, as she's getting ready to draw my blood, she asked me what I do for a living. And I tell her I'm a financial advisor who specializes in retirees, and the look in her face changes drastically from that happy, chipper feeling to one of fear and trepidation, which is not the look you want when someone's about to stick a needle in your arm. And I asked her, "Is everything okay? Is something wrong?" And she says to me very flat out, "I am too afraid to ever retire." And I said to her, "I'm sorry to hear that, but what makes you say that?" And she says, "I lost my husband about 15 years ago, and I've raised two boys to be successful young men who don't need my help anymore. And I'm very proud of that. But I knew that every day, as long as I went to work, I could provide for my kids. As long as I had a paycheck coming in the door, I could provide for my two boys. I've been a good saver. No one has ever taught me how to not work, how to not have a paycheck come in the door." She goes, "I'm too afraid to rely on anybody other than myself." And that fear is a very real thing. We see this all the time in our office. And what we always tell people is when you think about retirement, there are three big things that you have to be concerned about. Three major avenues. And if you can cover these three, you're as set as you were as if you had those paychecks coming in the door. Now, what are those three big things? We refer to those as the three pillars of financial planning or retirement planning. And those three pillars are, the first and foremost is income. Now, I'm an accountant, and income to me is a two-way street. There's money coming in your house, and there's money leaving your house. So there's inflows and outflows. It's cash flow, if you will. So you have to have money coming in your house. And when you're working, it's pretty simple. You've got a paycheck. Don't spend more than your paycheck is coming in the door, and you're better off than most of your neighbors. In your retirement, you don't have that paycheck coming in the door, or isn't as big as it used to be. So you need to know where every dollar you're going to spend is going to come from. And I think that's what had this lady who was drawing my blood so nervous. She didn't know where the money was going to come from. I was going to tell people, you have all sorts of pockets in your pants, and you could put money in every one of those pockets. And the person who you're going to give the money to, the person who you're going to pay money to, they don't care which pocket you take your money out of. But it does matter to you. It will impact how long your money will last. So in this category of income planning, you need to know what you're going to do with Social Security. Do you have any other guaranteed income? What about pensions? If you have a pension, how do you plan for that? If you've maxed those things out, what assets are you going to spend? In which order are you going to spend them? Those are the things that you have to think about. All of those decisions will impact how long your money will last, or will impact how much you can leave to the next generation. So an income plan or a cash flow plan is the first big pillar that you have to have. The second pillar, and it's equally as important, is you have to have an asset allocation strategy. So if you have money coming in and money going out, and if you have money left over, it has to sit somewhere. And where it sits is your asset allocation strategy. And this is the one part of retirement planning that most people and most financial advisors have focused on throughout the majority of your life. And they talk about risk a lot. How much risk do you want to take? And are you conservative? Are you moderate? Are you aggressive? And that's all important. Risk is important. But in your retirement years, there's a second variable that comes into play that's equally as important as risk. And that variable is time. Not time from how long you're going to live, but time from how long until you're going to spend an asset. Because in your working years, if you're putting money in that 401k and you're saving it for a long period of time, that time is long term, always. But in your retirement years, if you have money that you're going to spend now, what I refer to as now is the next 1 to 2 years, you take a heck of a lot less risk with that money than you do with money that you might not spend for the next 10 to 15 years. So having a plan for time is extremely important. Now, that's the asset allocation section. We talked about the income section. The third pillar is the one that nobody addresses, and I will argue is probably far and away the most important, and that is you need to have a tax plan. We as Americans are very good at doing what we're told. And we have been told from the 1980s on to shove money in your 401k, shove money in your IRAs. You're going to be in a lower tax bracket when you retire. Well, guess what? You're here. You're at that retirement place. And we can't control if you're in a lower tax bracket or not. But what we've done is we've built up this giant pile of money that has to be taxed some way, somehow. And we need to have a plan for how we're going to spend that money down in the most tax advantageous way for you. And that is different for every single person. Now, here's the really complicated part. Those three pillars of cash flow, asset allocation, and taxes, they don't work in vacuums. They all work hand in hand with each other. Your cash flow plan has to know what your asset allocation plan is doing. They all have to know what your tax plan is doing, because by making a change in one, it impacts all the others. So you have to make sure you tie them all together. And by doing that, you can truly feel the most security possible for your retirement years. You can truly feel that you are doing the absolute best for passing money to the next generation if that's important to you. But those are the three pillars that every single retiree needs to have, and they are very different from the years that you were working. I hope you got some value out of the video you just watched. And if you know somebody else that might benefit from seeing this, please share it with them. And to see future videos that we produce and put out, please subscribe to our channel.